In the last 3 weeks, I talked about some of my MS symptoms and also my first flare-up, while showing you the paintings I've created to visualize these aspects of MS. And by the way, I will continue on that next week, and you can still decide what painting I should talk about next. Just head to my community tab and leave a vote there. But today I want to talk about why am I even creating these paintings? Why do I feel the need to visualize my MS? And I've said it before and I'm gonna say it again, I do this to raise awareness of this illness. But why is that even important? One of the main struggles when living with MS is being misunderstood. People like to downplay this illness because it's mostly invisible. And I mean, the struggles we MS patients face every day, they mostly are internal. But therefore, the extent of MS is incomprehensible and inexplicable to many outsiders, which leaves the MS sufferer alone with their problems. And in many cases, we're even assumed to exaggerate the situation. Which, I guess, is part of the reason why many people living with MS tend to say stuff like, "Oh, I'm fine," or "No, MS isn't that bad," which are straight up lies, most times. But it's easier to say that than having to discuss how bad MS could even be, because I look fine on the outside, so how could there be anything wrong? But there's a lot going wrong, and every day is different. Some are barely manageable, and some are okay. And you won't even be able to tell the difference just by looking at me. And that's why I started painting what's wrong. Why I started visualizing and personalizing all these things that make MS so hard to handle but aren't obvious to the eye. So, when someone like you who doesn't have MS takes a look at my paintings, maybe it will be easier for you to understand what MS feels like. And someone like me who has MS can take my paintings and show to others to show what it is that I'm feeling right now. Because oftentimes it's also really hard to explain what even is wrong with us. So with my paintings, you no longer have to struggle with words and try to explain yourself. You can just show others what it is that is bugging you right now. Like, for example, right now I have kind of like a headache, but it's not really painful. I just feel kind of confused. But also not like really confused. It's just like something isn't working right up there, but it's actually fine. It's just like I just feel like kind of muddy. And you know what, just look at Charlotte. She is what I'm feeling right now. And with all these characters that I've already created for my art project 1,000 Faces, basically no one can say anymore, "Oh, I don't see your problems, so they are not there." Because every single one of my problems has their own face now. How are you going to deny their existence now? Because they're right here, and they all even got their own name.